Wow. When you first see the Alps from the plane, that's about all you can say. Doesn't matter if it's the Swiss, the French, the Italian, the Austrian, or the German Alps, it's all wow. I came here originally for the skiing. I was cashing in on a graduation present from my folks. My first stop in the Alps was a place in Austria called St. Anton am Arlberg. Excuse my pronunciation. The travel agent said the Arlberg region was the cradle of alpine skiing, where it all started. The first downhill run, the first ski club, the first ski school, the first cable car. So here I was in the Arlberg, and I sort of got obsessed. It was like if I wasn't going downhill, I wasn't living. There are 80 different slopes here, some easy, some hard, and plenty of the black diamonds I like. I moved on to Chamonix in France and skied the world's longest slope, Vallée Blanche, 13.7 miles. I had to do that one. And then the massive Mont Blanc, right there, 15,767 feet. Then in Porte du Soleil ski area, I got one of those passes that gives you 2 countries for the price of one. They have all kinds of passes like that in the Alps. Somewhere around Grindelwald in Switzerland, some guy tried to get me interested in cross-country. There are these amazing, endless miles of trails in the Alps. The guy was really cute. Then there was this incident with a snowboarder in Engelberg. They call it the Little Alaska of Switzerland. But the less said about the snowboarder, the better. Snowboarding was fantastic, though. All in all, I was having a pretty wild time, and everything was super affordable, to my surprise. In the US, I pay so much more on top of my quote. In the Alps, taxes and food were included, and the lift tickets were way less, which meant more money for having a good time. I mean, I just had to go to all of the free local cultural events, like I did with the cross-country guy who took me to an outdoor opera performance in ice and snow in Lech in Austria. Afterwards, we saw the acoustic fireworks. There are so many events like that all over the Alps in winter. But I haven't seen everything yet, so I moved on to Davos in Switzerland, where I ran into a girl from college. We never actually liked each other that much, but we actually bonded over sledding. I don't mean luge like in the Olympics, though they have that too, but sledding like in fun. They have sled runs all over the Alps, moonlight tobogganing runs with safety nets where it might be a little bit dangerous. People in the Alps are totally anal when it comes to safety, and they don't call it sledding, they call it sledging. Go figure. So I was having an incredible time skiing, after skiing, sledding, eating amazing food when suddenly it happened. It was in Cortina d'Ampezzo in the Italian Alps, which has so many runs you could ski for weeks without taking the same one twice. I fell hard, and it had nothing to do with skiing. I met a guy. No, he's not some handsome ski instructor named Francesco. I'm not going to show him to you because he would be embarrassed, but take my word for it, he is amazing. He is a kind of dorky but nice American over here on a research program studying the local eco-friendly biomass heating plants and houses that produce their own energy from solar cells. They have them all over the Alps. It's called sustainable construction. It's a big thing here. Long story short, I called my parents and told them I wanted to stay in the Alps over the summer. I told them why, and they wanted to come over and meet him. Now you have to know, my father is not a big skier. He says he can fall down just as easily in Cincinnati as in the Alps, so we arranged the trip for early summer. Now, when your parents come over, that's a whole different trip. You have to arrange things. Things have to be just so. You need infrastructure. Fortunately, the Alpine countries specialize in infrastructure. It's amazing. They're set up to cater to every taste and every budget, whether you want to stay in a 3-star or 5-star hotel, whether you want to ski or hike or just experience the local culture. And the local people are warm and welcoming, so proud of their homes and their culture. But mostly what really impresses a parent about the Alps is this. Everything works. It's clean, it's neat, great service. It's just like being at home if you had 50 servants. Anyway, I planned an itinerary for them very carefully, and they got their tickets and hotel reservations, and I told Dad, don't bother boning up on your German, French, and Italian. Everybody speaks English. I picked a town in Germany for the first meeting with Jeremy. It was called Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Really, they've got to do something about that language, but I picked it for a good reason. A lot of hotels throughout the Alps have a spa where you can get massaged or go to public wellness centers and soak for hours in thermal baths. The day after they arrived, I put my mother in one, where she lay in a steam grotto, had her entire body lathered, got a skin peel with silken gloves, goat's buttermilk, and olive paste, and then a full massage with scented oils. By the time she was done, she would have approved of Attila the Hun. The way to Dad's heart is through his stomach, and the food and wine in the Alps is almost worth the trip itself. The ingredients are usually local and fresh. Every country has its own specialties: French fondue, Swiss rösti, Italian polenta, Austrian spätzle, and the German sausages. We were in Germany, so the sausages were Dad's thing. He loved them, and the glue wine. No, it's not made from glue. It's a hot mulled red wine spiced with cinnamon and cloves. Dad had a good time with it. Now that I'd mellowed up Dad and softened up Mom, it was time to meet Jeremy. I decided to make a romantic gesture of it, so we took a cable car up to the peak of Zugspitze, the highest mountain in Germany. Jeremy was waiting for us at the top and opened the door of the cable car for us. They thought he worked there. After I assured them this was the Jeremy, we walked to the mountain hut at the peak, looked out over the panorama of the Alps in summer, and I think my parents forgot all about Jeremy for a moment. "This is totally mind-blowing," said my dad, always up on the latest slang. Could tell that my mom and dad weren't completely bowled over by Jeremy, though, so we took them on the adventure of their lives. The idea was to exhaust them into submission. We started in Neuschwanstein, the castle of Mad King Ludwig of Bavaria, Germany, just an hour from where we started. Distances are not the same as America. Everything is pretty close and easily reachable. Then in France, we took them on a walking tour of original alpine farming villages like Mougève and Val d'Isère that retained much of their original charm and architecture. We saw the Alpach Fair in Le Grand Bonnat with its ancient crafts, parade of floats, cow milking, dancing, and outdoor eating all day long. Back in Austria and Italy, we saw traditional Tyrolean architecture in Kitzbühel and Bolzano. The architecture in the Alps is really something. So charming, a word that I don't normally use, by the way. Then we saw costume bands and attended music festivals in Trentino in Italy. Mom loved those. She even bought one of those traditional blouses. Just over the Italian border in Innsbruck, Dad took a lesson in yodeling, a move that may plague Mom for the rest of her life. But Dad had a great time. In Zermatt in Switzerland, they gazed in wonder at the Matterhorn, possibly the most beautiful mountain in the world. We took a cable car almost to the top of the mountain, but for the rest of the way, you need ropes and a death wish. But most of all, we hiked. In the Alps, hiking in the summer is just as magnificent as skiing in the winter. We started off with easier paths in the Ötztal in Austria and also around Torino in the Piedmont region in Italy, where they've posted hiking routes for all levels of climbers and where you can see alpine flowers in full bloom. Soon we were hiking some of Switzerland's 4,000 miles of hiking trails, and then easier trails around France's Mont Blanc. And I noticed something. Jeremy was paying more attention to my parents than to me. It was time for my parents' dream vacation to end. Jeremy and my parents had bonded. Was it the Alps or Jeremy's winning personality? I don't know, but I do know that anything can happen in the Alps. The area is so beautiful, summer or winter, that your spirit begins to soar. It's like your soul has been taken up a notch and you begin to use overblown language like this. For me, I'll always be grateful to the Alps for the drama of the mountains, the excitement of skiing down the best trails on earth, the warm people, the good food, the culture and traditions, the gorgeous flowers and stunning vistas, and of course, Jeremy.